Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with a review of the Mould King X6. This is basically a quadcopter in a box. The transmitter acts as a storage case, so this is the entire thing. This is the way it's shipped in this package. You know, it's all taped closed, but this is the entire product. And so the top part here comes off. And then that's just, just a cover. There's no functionality to that. This is your quadcopter. It's a little bit bigger than the Hubsan X4, so it's not quite a Hubsan clone, but it's pretty similar. But it's pretty clunky, a little heavy, really stiff plastic, so it actually has felt pretty durable. I've given it some pretty good crashes, and it has withstood it pretty well. The battery is way back in there, like buried down under this bottom lip. So the battery was really a pain to get in and out. So I've just left it in there and charge it while it's in the quadcopter, because taking it in and out is really difficult, and I was afraid I was going to rip the wire out of it. And it takes about an hour to charge. You can get about 6.5 or 7 minute flights. And then this is the transmitter here, so it's the bottom of the storage, and you can see there's these pegs here where each arm of the quadcopter kind of clips onto that, and it will actually sort of hold in place. It has a nice clip on there. And then in the back is a door you can open, and it stores these little protective rings. That these are designed to go around each motor and protect the prop like that. So that's pretty cool that you can store them right there in the container, or in the transmitter itself. Unfortunately, these are pretty much worthless. They don't do much protection, and they snap off really easily, and they're quite a pain in the butt to put on. And then you've got your instruction manual and spare parts all stored in the transmitter. You've got a spare set of props and a USB charging cable. If I recall, the instruction manual is, it's entirely in Chinese, so pretty worthless if you only speak English. And then the batteries, it only takes 4 AAA batteries, but I had a lot of problems getting them to work right. So yeah, there it works, but if I bump the transmitter too hard, it won't turn on. So I had to really fidget with the batteries to get a good connection. And then even still, if I drop it or kind of bump it around too much, sometimes it won't turn on. And then also, this back door doesn't have, there's a little screw like icon on there, but it didn't come with a screw. And so it just kind of lightly clips into place and would constantly fall out on me. So I sort of just made this little electrical tape closing tab, just bent it over on itself to give a little pull tab. And so that's worked well to keep it closed, and now I can use the transmitter without that cover constantly falling off. The transmitter's a little awkward. The sticks are kind of right in the center of it, so especially as a pincher, it's just sort of weird. There's all this area on the top of the transmitter, and the buttons are up pretty high, so it's just kind of weird to reach them. I believe on the left is your rates, and it actually has three different rates. They call it, I think, low, high, and then 3D. Here, let's see if we can see it. So there is, oh no, it's easy. Then we've got, looks like it doesn't work when it's not actually connected to the quad itself. But anyway, you've got easy, pro, and then 3D is what they call their high rates. And on the 3D high rates, the pirouettes are insane. This thing can do some really fast pirouettes just in place. And it does have a 6-axis gyro. So it's pretty stable, holds its position well, but being as heavy as it is, it does drift quite a bit and doesn't like to hover too much, and it's just kind of a little pain to fly. But I think the whole thing was like $35, so not bad for what you're paying for it. I think that's about all there is to say about it, so let's go see it in flight. Alright, this is the flight review of the Mould King X6. I've got the blade protectors on there so you can see what it looks like with all the protectors on. As you can see from a profile there, they're all kind of warped out of shape and bent differently, and sometimes the prop sticks up above them so it doesn't really work for protecting it against the ceiling. But we'll see if I can maybe bounce into a wall a little bit and see what it does. Let's just give it a flight for a second. I am on Pro, which is the medium rates. Low rates is pretty much unflyable. It barely moves. So let's get her up in the air. And it is noisy. And kind of flies like a tank. It's really heavy and a little clunky in the air, and doesn't really like to hold a hover. It kind of moves around always. You see it's just sort of twitching. There's full pirouettes on medium. Let me change to Pro though. Alright, now I'm on Pro. Now let me get it lined up for a pirouette. There's a pirouette on Pro. So quite a difference between medium and high rates when it comes to pirouettes. It's kind of insane on high rates. So let me go back to medium. Now I forgot to mention in my review it does flip, so let's do a flip. Not bad. It's heavy, so it's a little slow to recover on the flips, but it does do them pretty nice. Ooh, forward flip there wasn't too great. Alright, so see, it already just one little rough landing and this protector has come off. And so they're kind of a pain in the butt. You gotta plug them into this tiny little peg on here, each side. Alright, so let's see if I can. Oh, and now here's what I was talking about with the controller has managed to turn off. There we go, now it's back on. Let's see, I gotta link it back up. I'll turn it off and on again. Oh, this controller is really the downfall of this quadcopter. Well, now it doesn't want to sync up, so let me start over and unplug the battery. It's also tough to get to the battery with the blade protectors on there. Alright, so plug that back in, turn the transmitter back on. Alright, now it's synced back up. Alright, sorry for the delay there. Alright, back on Pro. So let's see if I can kind of... all four of the protectors came off. So, yeah, you can see how good those do. I mean, that was... And the transmitter turned off again. Oh, this thing. Alright, well now that the protectors are off, let me fly it around for a second with the protectors off, show you what that's like. Go through the whole bind process here again. Turn it back on, came on, good. Alright. Alright, so now let's give it a quick flight with no protectors. Alright, let's try a flip with no protectors on. You have to press and hold the flip button. Ooh, really nice without the protectors on. It's kind of awkward to press and hold the... Why didn't it do it? There we go. Kind of awkward to press and hold the flip button and the right stick since the button is so high up on the transmitter. So pretty nice flips, I can give it that. But yeah,
otherwise it's not so great. So let's take her in for a landing. I think I've shown about all I can on this one. Alright, yeah, no rubber feet on the bottom either, so pretty heavy landings. But that's it. That is the Mould King X6 Quadcopter-In-A-Box. Not too bad for $35 or whatever it costs, but the transmitter is a little bit of a disappointment, and these protective rings are pretty much worthless. So, alright, well thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.